Well, I tell you what, that's one tough son of a bitch. Listen, welcome back, my friends, to another rousing rendition of Choir Boys Outdoors. Old Scab just kind of staring at it. Listen, I didn't drop this thing once, I dropped the son of a bitch twice. So the fact that it does exactly what it needs to do throughout this video is amazing. It's a Vehement Knives K2. Again, huge thanks to JR, man. Never heard of this company. That's my own fault. And again, JR makes it possible to review knives I would have never got my hands on. These guys, apparently, they can be difficult to get. So, brother, thank you again. This one is one of my absolute favorites you've sent. It came razor sharp. This seriously might be a company, one of my favorite companies I never heard of. And I know that may not make sense. But everything they've done with this knife, and I got to put my hands on several because I don't like making blanket statements, but I got to be honest with you, just from this knife, everything was spot on. And I would love to try a few more and just see. Of course, I can't get the son of a bitch out when you have it buckled. Attaboy, Scab. There were a lot of parts to this knife that really impressed me. The overall sharpness, the toughness, the durability. One of the big things that I noticed right out the chute was the fit and finish. Dude, flawless. And I'm dead serious. And guys, listen, not every knife on this channel you're going to like. You may not like the majority of them, okay? There's a ton of knives I don't like, but there's certain things that we can't argue and we can't dispute. And on a knife like this with the fit and finish, man, it was perfect. There were no flaws, no scratches. The bevels look great. The handle is amazing. They just did a great job. Now, again, don't know a lot about Vehement knives. I know they're based out of Michigan. A little bit of billboarding there. Now, I believe, and I want to double check this, you see it's got some nice fullers, canvas micarta handle scales, G10 liners, just a gorgeous, gorgeous knife. Now, the second time I dropped the bastard, is I was trying to do this in the kitchen. It got away from me, and I about threw it at Megatron. So she run me outside. But it's me. What else can you do? So now listen. Let me just read a couple sentences here to give us a little backdrop. This says, the latest mid-tech run by custom knife maker Matt Martin of Vehement Knives. The K2 is a true work of beauty. There's no denying that. Classic lines, modern functionality. And then we'll get into their spiel some. The K2 is as useful as it is attention grabbing. And again, I'm not going to argue that. And guys, if you're new here, I ramble a lot. So just check out the knife work and listen to my melodious tones in the background. It has an overall length of 10 1/4 inches, a blade length of 5 1/4 inch. It's made out of CPM 154. They did an amazing job with that stuff, seriously. The blade thickness is 0.185 inches, and it's just a very, very, very versatile, and I'm going to use this term, camp knife. Now, other people would say, combat utility or bushcraft or whatever, but I like the term camp knife, and for the channel's purposes, let's just use that as kind of an all-encompassing term. It is absolutely amazing. I'm going to give you some specs, and again, damn good stabber. The blade thickness is 5 millimeters or 0.185 inches thick. Handle length is 5 inches. It is a drop point. Blade finish they're calling Spectre. Canvas micarta, made in the USA. The sheath I love. It's black leather. Great job there. There's a couple of their logos on it. Really dope. Now, the weight of this knife is 9.14 ounces. But it's a light 9.14 ounces. And I know that's not heavy to begin with, but man, it just feels great in hand. Now, the inner grip that you see there where your knuckles go, there you go, Scab doing some of that kung fu. Everybody's kung fu fighting out by the stump. The inner grip is like it's better than 4 1/4. So damn near every hand on the planet could grip it really, really well. It locks in really, really well. Great cutter, like I said, deep fullers, drop point, everything that you like. A lot of the classic guys that watch this are going to love this one. Sharp as shit. really, really held up well. Let's look right here. Now, as many of you know, I have really kind of changed my attitude on batoning. This one has a slight sharpening choil. Okay, quick amendment. It's not a sharpening choil. I'm an idiot. It's a finger choil. It's a little... If you've got large fingers, it might not be for you. But it's a slight choil, which is going to help with the harmonics of the batoning, and that's what I was going to get to. We've really, really kind of changed tacks here on the channel. We're going to have fun. We're going to bash and crash. But we're going to review each knife with its intended use. This isn't a destruction channel. It will never be. We're a use channel. Here you're going to see it's got 031. I'm thinking that's the number. Number 031. I guess that's the model, not the model number, but the number made. And I wanted to come back to some cutting. And I say that about destruction, not being negative. It's just there's enough guys that do that on here and do the hard, super hard stuff. I want to go more in a direction of use. We'll do some light batoning. We're going to do some chopping. We're going to do some things, but I want to show you the knife work. If you're new again, what we do is basically cut up a bunch of shit. There's nothing scientific. I like taking a knife straight out of the packaging, and usually it's because JR or another subscriber is good enough to send me some knives to check out. We have a couple companies that send them to the channel, but for the most part, guys, we are subscriber knife driven, and I love it that way. Again, get to check out some shit I never would. So as we get each piece in, yesterday we had a machete. We have a hammer coming up. So we're going to do things, and it's the RMJ tactical hammer, so we're going to bash and crash. As we do things, we're going to use whatever piece we have for its intended use. This is a cutting tool. I can't say that enough. So I don't want to misrepresent it. In jobs I've had before, I've had to strip wire, and I've even had to do it at the one I'm at now if we have to make a pigtail or something like that. So I just feel like it's a good little thing. Plus, it shows the sliciness of the knife, and it does put a little pressure on that edge. I'm not going to lie. When you slice into the copper wire sometime, it can do a little damage. So we do some, harder use. Got those stylish shades on there, and I mean, that probably makes the entire video for you. But the thing is this. The one thing that I loved about this knife, well, let's do three. Fit and finish. That's usually not our style. We're usually all function. But sometimes there's knives that are just too damn gorgeous to not mention. Sharpness, razor damn sharp out of the box. Comfort in hand. Let's stick with those. I took it over to Kirk's. He was just blown away by it. It's a company we haven't heard of. And I love them. I love them. I'm a little nervous to do another one. I'm sure it will be this quality. But guys, if we're picking numbers out of a hat, or we're saying, okay, 1 through 10, 1 being the lowest, 10 being the highest, guys, this is an 8 or 9. And it could even drift towards a 10. I'm not going to lie. For a camp knife, for a do-all knife, and knives are subjective. There's somebody watching that'll disagree, and that's fine. That's fine. That's why we do these. And I would highly recommend, if there's 3, 4, 5, 6 videos on these knives, if you're going to buy one, check them out. Don't base your buying a knife on this channel, please. I want to show you how it works, but I don't have a skill set right now that I would call expert. I'm a beginner, intermediate, whatever. You're going to see me make mistakes. So check out as many reviews as you can, but ultimately, go with your gut. That's what I've done. When I go to buy a knife, rarely if ever, do I look at somebody else reviewing it. I am curious, okay? That's why I say, fill out your curiosity. Of course, I'm the world's worst filmer. Now, let me just fill you in on what I'm doing there. That's the chest lever pull, and it's working quite amazing. And of course, old Scab just butchering it, son, and this is going to be one of those segments that runs way too long. There you go, Scab. Beautiful, beautiful, son. Steven Spielberg will never have to worry about old Scab. Would I carry the knife? And that at the end of the day, that's what I base my reviews on. There's not a grading system, none of that shit. It just, there you go, Scab. Get it to where people can see the damn thing. Would I carry? I'd carry it every day. I'd carry it 7 days a week and twice on Sunday. It's a phenomenal knife, comfortable in hand, and it held up beautifully to everything. Now, there was a time in this country where 22 veterans a day took their own lives, and that's a weird transition, but we got to get it in. The actual numbers between 15 and 29. That's why here on this channel we focus on the number 0. Anything over 0 is simply unacceptable. Vets, we love you. You have a place here. Guys, I'm back to blue. Not everybody does. I do. It's just one of those things. I've explained it a million times. And finally, if you are an addict, never quit quitting. Well, JR, brother, thank you again. Vehement Knives, K2, super dope. But remember, I'm Scab. You're not. I'm gone, son. Love y'all. Some of you.